Bancho Boy Cooper here. BT16 is finally upon us, and after a long wait, 3 months, we have a new set dropping with a lot of new fun decks, a lot of support for older decks, some of which were introduced somewhat recently, some of which haven't seen any support since BT8, but there's a lot to show off, and we haven't had one of these showcase tournaments since BT14. In the past, we've usually done these on Tabletop Simulator as 8 decks in a double elimination format, but there's so many fun decks we want to show off from this set, as well as the last few, that we decided to break this up into 16 decks, and we've broken them into 4 pools that you see here. And the way this is going to work is there's going to be a best-of-1 round robin within each pool, and then whichever deck has the best record, those 4 decks will emerge into a single elimination best-of-3 to determine the overall winner. And we're going to be playing these in person with paper-printed proxies, because nobody wants to watch Tabletop Simulator anymore, especially with the DCGO client out now. So, of course, as of the recording of this, DCGO did not have BT16 available, so that's why this is still in paper with printed proxies, but everyone likes to watch that. So this is going to be a series of videos coming up for about the next half month or so. We're going to be putting up 2 of these a day, and then going into the best of 3 finals to see who the winner is, and we're going to get it started today. We start off with the secret rare terror of this set, Magnamon X Antibody, the armor version with the Vmon base, up against Goldramon, a deck that kind of started in EX3 with the 4 Great Dragons deck and is now kind of evolved into mostly just being about Goldramon. And starting off with the Patamon Erasing, always want to see that from BT14. And the Dragon's Breath option card, it's a delay, 4 cost, allows you to take any yellow card out of your top 4, so very good search there, and has a delay effect later on to do some drain and get the trial of the 4 Great Dragons in play. But on half of the Magnamon player, we do see the Bukamon hatched first, which you always want to see, and Vacation Vmon coming down. Unfortunately, a big whiff there. Death X, Shuyu Lin, Blinding Ray, not valid targets for the Vmon to pick up. Just gonna go ahead and establish the old Magnamon as an early 7k blocker there. And the Patamon is going to be pushed up, and that all-important security search, see if there's any lucky hits, and there are. We have the Goldramon from EX3, definitely I think the best thing to hit at this point in the game, getting a free Evo into that vaccine trait. Goldramon on Evolve, it's going to allow him to do another search here. Is that evolution at no cost? And he is going to be sliding in the Goldramon from BT14 in the bottom of security to gain that memory from Patamon, as well as draw from Tokomon. So there it is. And with Goldramons on Evolve, you can check the top 4 cards for a Dramon and a 4 Great Dragons. So he's going to pick up the Goldramon X Antibody, new from BT16, as well as the Arrow Goldramon. So that's looking pretty good already. Gonna actually be able to potentially evolve directly up into that if you so chose, but you really want to evolve through the BT14 Goldramon, because that Goldramon X Antibody does gain all effects of the Goldramon in Source, and I think we will get to see that in this game for sure. So, seeing where we're going to go from here, it looks like we're just going to play an agility training first. So using the Dragon's Breath and the Goldramon. The Goldramon is similar to the Goldramon, but it does an on-play search. And we're going to go ahead and cash in that Dragon's Breath here, and by trashing a 4 Great Dragons, or by placing a trial of 4 Great Dragons in your battle area, you get to -7k something. That's going to shred right through that armor of Magnamon and take it out entirely, and pretty much totally undo the turn of the Magnamon player. Really was hoping to get something off that Vmon search there, and instead the raising area is totally empty, so only had that one Vmon to search with, and can definitely a big punish there on the part of the Goldramon player. And it looks like we're going to be evolving into that Arrow Goldramon. So, looks like he does not have the trial to place. If he did, he probably would have played it with the effect of the Dragon Breath delay, as placing a trial is definitely way better than just trashing a 4 Great Dragon straight. And looks like the Magnamon player is gonna opt to just put that Vmon out in the field. He actually cannot evolve it over the Bukamon, if I recall correctly. That Vmon only evolves over green and purple, so it's nice to get that memory back, but you do kind of just have to hard play it unless you've hatched into the Demi Vmon. And seeing the Bukamon first here, normally pretty good for that jamming, but not so great when you can't evolve your Vmon with it. So we just have the Renamon in the back, which does have a nice inherit for the deck. That's one of the reasons the deck is running Viximon, and with the delay effect of physical training, going to be able to go into the Goldramon for just the 2 cost and choke at 1, bringing out the 2 Goldramon tokens, which we're using Slight for the Sky Dragon and Wing Dragon of Ra here. Fittingly enough, it is Goldramon in Japan after all, so use some Egyptian gods. So it does pass turn though, so the rush of the red token does not get to be of use here. But the Vmon at least does stay on board. It's going to go into the Magnamon from the starter deck and trash the top 2 sources. I believe it trashes the top source for every color of the target Digimon. Then it gets to bounce a sourceless Digimon back to hand, so I'm going to pick one of the tokens here. May as well go for the blocker token since the rush is no longer any use to the Goldramon player, of course. And does pass over 2, which would be, I believe we did see a Goldramon X searched earlier, so that's definitely going to be something to consider going into here, and we'll see how that whole chain comes up after this Renamon does come up. And yep, we're going to go into the Goldramon X antibody. So when that Goldramon does evolve, you delete all your tokens, and if you delete it by the effect, you get to recover. But then the Goldramon X gets to copy that on-evolve effect of Goldramon to replay the tokens. So the tokens are back, and we got a heal off here. On top of that, it also has on-evolve. You can use a Trial of the 4 Great Dragons option card, and looks like the only choice right here is going to be the Dragon's Breath. So that's still not bad. Unfortunately, looks like we are... Well, we're not going to bot the control. We're going to definitely take that Trial of the 4 Great Dragons to hand to use, and I believe it also gets this on attack. So it's definitely a way to refill your... if you play it by trial, you can get some more trials back. I think the only thing the deck doesn't really have is a way to recycle Trial of the 4 Great Dragons. The old EX3 one was able to do that. But, the game is so fast-paced at this point that recycling trials, you probably don't need to do that. So he's going to raid, which is another keyword that the Goldramon X has on top of all of its other effects, to get him down to just that Vmon. And then he's going to place the Trial of the 4 Great Dragons down there with the on-attack trigger as well. So gets that set up for, just in case this Goldramon does get removed, going to swing in with Rush, swings over the Vmon there. And see what he wants to do to pass the turn, see if we can potentially remove this Vmon. That would be absolutely devastating for just completely rebuilding on the Magnamon player. As I seems to be seeing a whole lot of nothing. The turn 1 search definitely did not pay off. And looks like the Renamon just going to evolve into the Vidramon. And again, that excellent on evolve to wheel for, let's see, there's a Dramon at least. And it looks like the only target is, okay, yes, there you can search for a 4 Great Dragons card. So he's going to be able to pick up the Dragon's Breath, which is also a 4 Great Dragon's trait option card. Unfortunately, Goldramon's signature God Flame attack is specifically called out on Goldramon X because, unfortunately, for some reason, they did not print the 4 Great Dragons trait on it. So, but not being the 4 Great Dragons trait means it is not very searchable. So, a couple of Vmons now coming out here from the Magnamon player, getting the promo one in the back. Unfortunately, no Tamer to take advantage of that reduction, but gonna pick up a copy of the BT8 Magnamon with that Vmon there. I believe that is the one from, I believe it's from the starter deck that can get any free trait, but does not have an inherit, so a little bit worse than the Vacation Vmon from BT12. So Renamon coming down in the breeding area here, and thinking about how to go ahead and get in here. So he's going to raid into one of the Vmons, just make sure to contain board, as the Magnamon player is definitely on the back foot, so he's kind of kicking them all the down, and with the on-attack trigger is going to play the Dragon's Breath delay there, and he's got found another trial, so definitely gonna pick that up. And being able to actually use the option card, by the way, means you actually get to draw the card off Trial of the 4 Great Dragons. A lot of those effects just place it in your battle area, but you actually get to use the option card. So the main effect of Trial of the 4 Great Dragons is actually just to draw a card, but playing that card for its full cost is something you pretty much never want to do. So looks like he's going to be able to use one of those Dragon's Breaths was played last turn. So you can either trash the 4 Great Dragons trait, or you can place a Trial of the 4 Great Dragons into the battle area to -7k. So get some big value there, convert that delay option into an even stronger delay option, as well as wipe out the board. And you got a couple of tokens here to potentially go into. And alright, we're going to slide into the Zephyrmon here, which will turn on the obviously the Zephyrmon has a it's a hybrid. That's if the Davis has security, but it also turns on that Vidramon's inheritable, which is really good for cheap. Allows you to give all your 4 Great Dragons traits Rush And we do swing, and that's a great 1-2 punch of security. Hits the Davis, which allows him to play the Vmon, and then hits this Magnamon, which has a security effect to de-digivolve something, and then evolve it on top of one of your Digimon. So he's actually gonna take off the Zephyrmon there. I think he's thinking about it. As if he does de-digivolve the Goldr X, he could go back into another Goldr X, which could be a little bit scary. So he is going to get the on-evolve trigger from the Magnamon as well. So definitely a tough choice here. It looks like he is going to go for the de-digivolve on the Zephyrmon. And then we have a Source Strip here as well. So Source Stripping out the Goldramon is going to be actually pretty useful there, as it's no longer going to have that ability to remove the tokens. So, and then he's going to bounce the tokens, looks like, back to the hand. So really good 1-2 punch of security there for the Magnamon player. Trying to get back in this game. But there's definitely 2 Trials of the Four Great Dragons already there in play. So, see what we can have cooking here. And there's going to be a Trial of the Four Great Dragons used to free play this Goldramon. So those tokens are coming right back. One of them with Rush. And currently, let's see. Double checking how that inheritable is worded. You only get Rush if the inheritable is live while you play the Digimon, so it doesn't persist, unlike a Gains Rush. I think there's a Kurisarimon that does that. Anyway, passing 3, just evolving up into the Arrow Vidramon, and we got a pair of Magnamons over here now. And having the Tamer there means that reduction on the Vmon was live, so getting a very cheap Magnamon there, and boosting up by 4k. It looks like there's 2 armor form Digimon in the trash, and there's the big Heaven's Judgment, and there are currently 3 colors among Digimon, so 4 activations of minus 6k being doled out to the board. Both the tokens are 6k. Goldramon X is 13, so it's going to require an awkward 3rd ping if he wants to take that out. So it looks like we're going to see Goldramon's going to be taken down by 2 pings, and then as well as when the Goldramon leaves, the tokens also leave, of course. So board definitely favoring a little bit more of an even board here, but we'll see. That's a lot of memory passed over with the Heaven's Judgment. So the Godamon evolved here. Unfortunately, the Godamon does not have a on evolve. It's just a on play for the search. Not quite as good as the Vidramon there. But we have the Andromon here, and that's going to be able to place a Trial of the Four Great Dragons. However, he already has one, so he cannot place another one. A little unfortunate there. But we do have the Dragon's Breath delay that could be used here, which would be able to drain out the upper Magnamon there, which is only at 7k. The one at the bottom did gain its DP bonus, so it is currently sitting, I believe, at 11k. So we are going to activate that Dragon's Breath delay to place another Trial, and that's going to probably drain out that top one. Yep. Through the Armor Purge, of course. And that's actually going to cause the Andromon effect. When you place the Trial in your battle area, something on the other side gets minus 3k, so it'll negate part of that plus 4k, so it's down to an 8,000 BP on the Magnamon. And Magnamon does have blocker, but only 2 security left for the Magnamon player. Looks like he is going to raid into the Magnamon there, which will bring it down to a Vmon, and it does have a lingering plus 1k on it. So overall, it is currently still at 2k, and with the on attack of Goldramon X, a 3rd Trial of the Four Great Dragons is played. And it looks like there's a memory gain in there from, I forget which inheritable that is, but there's a memory gain, looks like. So Vmon sitting here with 2,000 net DP after the Magnamon persistent buff, as well as the Andromon debuff, so barely holding on. Looks like the Trial, one of the Trials was played in the previous turn, will be used here to just directly play a Goldramon X. It will get Rush from the Godamon inheritable, which is the same as the Vidramons. And it looks like he is going to be raiding into that Vmon to just go ahead and totally wipe the board, and just have 2 Megas and an Ultimate ready to swing out for these last 2 security. Next turn, Andromon's going to go ahead and swing now. He just easily swings over the Ramen Vmon from BT12, and then just hard playing a Patamon to choke at 1. And Magnamon player definitely had some really good security to try to come back in this game, but this looks like an insurmountable board state here. to try to get back in, especially choked at 1. Just going to hard play the Magnamon, which is a blocker that can still float into a Vmon. And we'll just pray for a miracle there. As the Goldramon does get deleted, as it was played by trial. Padamon's going to see if there's anything nice reading the security. It looks like it was not. So no lucky hits there, despite having still a very high amount of security left. So we have the blocker Magnamon, as well as potentially another Heaven's Judgment in security to try to survive another turn. So Heaven's Judgment, I believe, is only a 12k minus in security, so theoretically would not kill the Goldramon, but we'll see. He's going to go ahead and swing with the Goldramon first, and see if the Magnamon wants to block. I'm guessing he's probably not going to declare raid, since he's likely going to have to block anyway. And he does, so we'll get to draw 1 when it would leave the battle area, as well as play a Vmon from Hand or Crash, or not, I believe it's Hand or a Battle, our Digivolution cards, if I recall correctly. But unfortunately, looks like we have gone through all the Vmons, so we're just going to see the final check with Andromon, and it is just a Shuyu Limb, so the Patamon will swing for game, and that'll be Goldramon taking it over the armor version of Magnamon X Antibody. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next one.